discussion? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Do board members certify that only items on the closed session agenda are discussed in closed session?
So moved.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the motion carries. Will all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good evening. First up, our consent agenda from the general meeting minutes of September 16th. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda. So moved. We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that motion carries. Recognitions, Dr. Frazier.
Good evening, school board members and guests. This is always one of my favorite portions of our meeting where we can recognize our students, our staff, and just to celebrate the things that are happening. And so this month we are recognizing on October 2nd, we recognize National Custodian Day, we've recognized National Coaches Appreciation Day, National Instructional Coaches Appreciation Day, First Responders Day, Fire Prevention Week is the 5th through the 11th, National School Lunch Week, the 13th through the 17th, National School Bus Safety Week is the 20th through the 24th, and National Red Ribbon Week, the 27th through the 31st. We also this month are recognizing Breast Cancer Awareness Month, National Principals Month, and Bullying Prevention Awareness Month. So at this time, I will have our principals to come, and we will start with Ms. Goodwin. Ms. Goodwin will come with her Student and Staff Prize Awards, followed by Dr. Bird with her presentation.
Hello, good evening, Chairman Jenkins, members of the board, Dr. Frazier. Thank you for having me this evening to recognize two special members of our West Point Elementary School family. We are proud to name this month's RISE Award winner as Mrs. Angela Scott for her commitment to the R for relationships and for the E for excellence. Ms. Scott is our 4th grade literacy teacher. She provides reading instruction to all 4 4th grade classes. Ms. Scott recently planned an incredible field trip as a culminating activity for their literacy unit on folktales for the entire 4th grade. Students were able to visit 3 places right here in the town of West Point: the newly renovated King William Library, the West Point Historical Museum, and a town park to hear a local Native American. Ms. Scott planned correlated activities to make the trip educational and engaging. Students and staff said it was the best day, and we hope our students love their town even more after the trip that Ms. Scott so thoughtfully planned. Her teammates described her as organized, dedicated, and a valuable member of the school family. They also shared that Ms. Scott does everything she can to help every child. Her students say that she's a great reading teacher, and they especially like how she speaks, especially when she tells them to clean up their rubbish.
Yeah.
She is very deserving of this RISE recognition. Our October RISE Student Award goes to another member of our 4th grade family, Brian Hutt. He is in Ms. Walker's homeroom class. His teachers describe him as polite and always willing to lend a helping hand to his classmates and teachers. We also hear that he is especially talented in helping them with technology, but he likes to keep that on the low down so he doesn't get asked to help too much. He has a positive attitude towards learning and is always motivated to learn and do more. Brian actively participates in class and offers insightful contributions. Despite his many accomplishments and his hardworking nature, he remains remarkably humble, setting a great example for his classmates. In his spare time, Brian enjoys roller skating and doing artwork, and he's also working with his uncle on a programming for video games. And we're proud to have Brian as this month's RISE Student Award, and we're so glad he's a part of our culture family. Thank you.
So good evening, it's good to be here again, especially to recognize our staff and students of the month. So our October Staff Rise Award is centered around student-centered relationships and excellence. So see if you can guess before I get to the end. This month's staff member is described by students as sweet, caring, and always positive. Students say this person makes class fun, is super kind inside and outside of school. One student said this teacher helps us step by step and always puts you in a good mood. Another said this teacher is supportive and uplifting. Everything she does is filled with passion and tries to make sure that every student is enlightened when they leave her class. She also understands that students have other things going on outside of her classroom. So this teacher is Miss Belinda Goins. So thank her. Yeah, she's amazing. So thank her for her work. Our middle school student for this month is 8th grader Shangi Chen. She was nominated by her teachers for demonstrating excellence inside and outside of the classroom. Her teachers say she's been a pleasure to teach. She's works hard, participates in class daily, and sets a great standard of excellence within our school. We had an overlap, so we actually have 2 middle school and 2 high school students. We didn't get to recognize one last time. 6th grader Casey McConnell was nominated for demonstrating responsibility and excellence, consistently doing what's expected in class and helping the teacher without being asked. Our October High School Rise Awards, the first one goes to 10th grader Aiden Radcliffe. His teacher nominated him for building relationships and for his excellence in the classroom. He's quick to help other students and is an asset in group work. His kindness and intelligence shines through daily. Also nominated was 12th grader Colvin Hilton. He's nominated for building relationships and for his responsibility and excellence inside and outside of the classroom. He's mature, hardworking. He is always willing to help a teacher or peer, and he does serve as a great role model to our younger students. He jumps right in with our 6th and 7th graders. So we really appreciate him and the work that he does with our younger students. So they're our students and staff of the month.
So my last recognition for this month is very special. VSBA has challenged each school division to recognize a staff member or a member of the community who is truly a champion for impact. Someone who truly makes an impact on the school or school community. Whether it is the direct work that they do when working with children, or if it's the indirect work that they do. And so as a team, we've really thought long and hard about who is someone in our school community that makes a huge impact. And so I'm gonna have Ms. Britt play this little video, and then we will recognize the person.
At the heart of small town West Point, you will find a big heart in West Point Public Schools. For more than 20 years, Donna Massey made West Point Elementary feel like home. She is the heart of the building, always ready with a warm greeting and helping hand. She challenges every child to grow academically and emotionally. Her joy is contagious, her heart immeasurable. Her kindness ripples through every classroom, every heart, every day. Donna Massey is West Point Public Schools Champion for Impact.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. I thought I was here to talk about it. I want to say a few words about it.
And so
Yes.
when we we were talking about and thinking about who to recognize here in West Point, we really thought about someone who makes a difference from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Someone who greets students and families, parents, in that car by the line each and every day, but also sends them home with a smile every day. But when she's in the building, she's working hard with some of our most neediest students, making sure that they have the reading skills that they need to be successful. You could just see, just in this short time tonight, she asked each and every one of our school board members about their children, because she knows the children here in West Point. She truly cares, is compassionate, and all of those values that we have here. Relationships, innovation, being student-centered, and excellence, all are Donna Massick. And for that, we're grateful. So we appreciate all that you do, and you are our champion for that.
It's an honor, and it's a privilege to come to school every day. There are days I come to school, I'm a little tired, more so than others. But it really is the best place ever for me to work. I found my niche. You know, I think I started in 2001. Someone said, I'm going to be 66 in November, and are you ready to retire? And I said, I'm not ready yet. My husband said, he said, you'll know when you know. But I'm one of many. Because it truly is a team effort. So I am grateful. I had no idea. I really thought she came in, first gave interventions yesterday, took a video, and I was like, oh Lord, our first day, here we go. And then I changed my allergy shots tonight so I could be here, because I thought I was coming to talk about interventions. So this is truly a shock. So I said to Mrs. Farmer, one of my bosses, can you come in case they ask questions? I'm going to refer that to this. But I've grown a lot in all these years. I do love my community. I love my school division. Our son went from kindergarten, to graduation. On behalf of the whole team at my school, I accept that. And thank you so much for your recognition. I'm just a little overwhelmed. So thank you.
Go home now.
Those are all for my recognition.
Okay. Thank you so much.
They'll follow that one up there. Yes.
Okay.
But I was told to keep something.
And they didn't know why.
Just get her there is what they say.
Right.
You'll see.
Presentations, Dr. Bird.
It's going to get really
Get to
boring
follow
now.
Oh, no offense. My opening line was going to be, we cannot follow that. It's always hard to follow up. Oh, thank you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna bring it down.
Yeah.
You already are. So, and I also have two of our department chairs with me this evening. They're gonna jump in at a certain point in the presentation. We are looking at Tier 1 instruction at the middle and high school levels. That was one of our focus areas this year, is to look at the state of instruction across the school. So, what I like to do is just explain to you the process that we use to evaluate what Tier 1 instruction looks like, what it is, what we found, and where we're headed next with this. So the first thing that we did was, you have to look at what is good Tier 1 instruction. And so just for general purposes, Tier 1 is what should be happening in every classroom every day. Good research-based core instruction delivered expertly every day to every student. That's the base of what we do. So there's a lot that happens within that tier 1. And 80, at minimum, our average of 80% of our kids should be responding to what's happening every day in the classroom positively. If a student continues to struggle, then we put an interventionist in place, and that's what we call tier 2. And if kids need more individualized help, that would be tier 3. So we're really looking at every classroom, every day, what's happening. So what we did, and we took several weeks to do this, is administrative team, central office came in and helped, and we trained the department chairs on learning walks. And all a learning walk is a 10 to 15 minute, you walk into a classroom and we have look-fors. So in our look-fors were elements of tier 1 instruction. Are we seeing research-based strategies? Are we seeing student engagement? Are we seeing an access for all of our students with disabilities, gifted students? So before we write goals, before we say this is what we need to find out what it is we need. And so I also wanted to make sure that our department chairs and our teachers are involved, because if we're talking about teaching and learning, teachers need to be at the table and part of the process. So over the span of 3 to 4 weeks, we conducted about 58 or 59 learning walks across the whole school. Not just core classes, but our electives. It was fun. I'll be honest with you, this is one of the most fun things we do. I just love doing this. So once we did that, we were able to enter things into a Google form, and it generated quite a bit of data for us to look at. But before we talk about the data, what we found, I kind of wanted you to hear from our teacher leaders about the process and what they discovered through their learning walk. So they were asked to go into classrooms within their own department for this go round. So I don't know who wants to go first.
Okay, well, as Dr. Bird said, we kind of surprised members of our department. They didn't know when we were coming. We were kind of all over the place. We tried to mix it up, at the beginning of class, the middle, the end, to kind of get a good baseline of what was going on. 10 to 15 minutes, and we were really observing for specific things, but you know, it wasn't meant to be a got you. It was really to see what we're doing well and maybe what we're not doing as well at. So.
And you know, we did feel like we were prepared. Dr. Bird had given us like a checklist, so it was not, you know, you kind of went in there and we're trying to remember it all. We had a nice kind of process. It was, we did meet with our departments beforehand, and we were able to say, hey, this is happening. And, you know, whenever you're observed, it's kind of like, what, you know, why are you in here? And so we wanted to make it, or the word Dr. Bird teaches is normalized, teacher-to-teacher observation. So it seems more like a learning situation, not at all like we were critiquing. And so we'd already kind of laid the foundation with that. And then when we went in, it may have been a surprise of like, oh, you're here, but it wasn't a surprise of what are you doing? Yeah. And so that was really calming, and I was really, and I'm sure Mr. McAllister was too, but really well received by the students. So it was fun for me in like the middle school classrooms, because I don't know any of those children very well, and it is so different. It is. It is so different. I taught middle school a long time, but it has been a very long time since, and I'm very happy in high school. It's just such a different dynamic. I went from an 8th grade class to a high school chemistry class within the same chunk, and so just, you know, it was very different. Yet, you know, still able to look for all the things that we were tasked with. So that was kind of how we started.
Yeah, and it was definitely good to be able to see from 6th grade all the way up through the seniors and really get a feel for what all those classes look like, because, you know, for myself, I teach primarily juniors, so getting to see what our middle school teachers are doing, how they approach the day so differently than, you know, those of us at the upper level, it's pretty intense. I have a huge respect for those middle school teachers, but Yeah, so some of the positives we saw, definitely active engagement. I was really blown away by my department, how engaged all the students were in every class that I went into, no matter what the time was. And like I said, this was a surprise. We didn't tell them, hey, I'm gonna come at 10:50 today. They had no idea that I was coming that day. So to really get an actual feel for what was going on in the classroom and then see that engagement going on across the board was fantastic.
I agree. It's also really nice to see such different styles of teaching. You know, we all are, we're just so secular in what we're doing all day, and it's really nice to kind of see how very different another approach can be, but yet how engaged the students are from that, to kind of help you realize, you know, there's not just one way. And then some of the things that we were looking for with like numeracy, and seeing that not just like in math class and in science. I mean, that's not a big leap. We do a lot of math. But to see it so explicitly explained in a science class from an instructor to a student, okay, like maybe y'all don't remember this in math class, let's go back over it. And like it was just very direct instruction. And so that was nice. Also a focus on new words, new terms, vocabulary, reviewing that, making sure everyone understood the task. And then any students who didn't, like I saw actively teachers moving around. There was no sedentary talking and everyone just listening. It was very collaborative as a group. So it was all good.
Thank you. Yeah, So, and one of the things I did explain to the teachers is when you, it's a little bit more at the middle and high school level, you are very insulated in your day. And so to normalize teachers talking to teachers about instruction and walking in and out of classrooms. And I told the whole staff the story. My first year of teaching, I got hired 4 days before the school year started. I had no education classes, no experience. It's like, you speak Spanish, come on and teach 35 kids in a classroom. And if teachers hadn't just seen me struggle through the window and just walked in and said, let me help you. You need some lesson plans, you need some help, you need some coaching. I would never have made it, you know, so we're a unique profession and we need to be supportive of each other. So this is kind of helping to break down some of those barriers and those things so that they can really talk and collaborate. So we had a lot of positives. It really was great to see so much student engagement across the whole school in every class. And so when we looked at the data, and the department chairs, they looked at this, and we were trying to look at what are some areas of focus. If we want to write school goals and if we want to have focus, what is meaningful to the staff and where are our needs? What do we see if we can grow in? So the department ranked the needs. Each department met. I threw out the 5 things that we saw that could be worked on. They ranked them all. I did a matrix. And so the areas that we're really going to look at are serving diverse learning needs in one class. This was a big request from all of the departments. You know, when we have so many diverse types of learners in one classroom, you know, elementary school teachers are fabulous at instruction, and when you're a high school, middle school teacher, you're trained in content. So let's figure out how to deliver that great content in a multitude of ways in one classroom. Class structure and focused instructional strategies. There were some strategies that we feel like we can train and then look for. So that's what we're doing now, is we're working on professional development. And then about midterm, after we do some development and practice, we will kind of reshape those learning walk look fors and look for these things. And we'll do another round of learning walks. Are these things being implemented? Are they being used? Do we need to revisit it? Do we need to have some more PD? Let's monitor what it is we've put into place. Also, the rest of the teaching staff, without necessarily any look-fors, they're going to spend some time just going into each other's classrooms. We want to normalize, this is instruction, you did a great job, have you thought about this, or I'm struggling. It's hard for teachers to say those words, I'm struggling, because you're supposed to know everything and, you know, nobody does. So that's the process that we're gonna be following for the rest of the year. It's just training, monitoring, visiting, revisiting. So that we can make sure our tier 1 instruction is really solid across the board, so that those students who do need those tier 2 interventions, you know, they're rising to the top so that we can have really good solid interventions as well. So yeah, I got ahead of myself. Progress monitor and more learning walks. I chose that. Good intentions are not enough. Like we need to practice what we preach. We're going to monitor. We're going to train. We're going to help. We're going to coach, and we're going to see that student engagement and student achievement just skyrocket as our teachers get more and more comfortable with new strategies and talking to each other. They're each other's best ally and best help. That's it. If you have any questions or questions for the teachers here?
I have a question, or two questions. So when you said class structure, is that like the physical structure, like the setup, the management, the plans, like how, like what do you?
No, that's a
What do
great
you mean by
question.
class structure?
Because we struggled with how to phrase that.
Okay, okay,
Because we're not talking about classroom management.
okay.
And what we landed on class structure is when students walk in the room, we're going like bell to bell. Like, what does the structure of class when they walk in? Do they have something to do? And are we moving? How are our transitions? Like, some teachers were really good at transitioning, and some struggled a little bit. So, and how are we ending the class, which is just as important as how you begin the class. So more of structure. We struggled with that, so because it's not management.
Right.
It's design. Maybe that was another word.
Yeah, well, I was kind of thinking maybe it was a planning, meaning
Yeah.
what you were describing, but yeah, you're right, it was difficult to,
Yes,
okay. And then, do we have teacher mentors
we do.
in the middle school, high school, so, okay.
We do.
That's all. No questions.
Anything else? Sorry, that wasn't exciting. It's done now. It was awesome, but.
That was great, we got to hear from two of our teachers.
Yeah.
Principal was amazing.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bright tears to my eyes.
I
Bye, bye.
Please don't take my award away, but I really.
That's it. That was a stipulation, you had to stay for the whole meeting. I know, right? Revoked.
Oh, you're leaving too?
Yeah, we're a team.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, see you in the morning.
Bye.
Okay, I know.
I
I
know.
know, okay, I know.
Alright.
Oh.
Next up, delegations. I know we have Mr. Caprio who's here to speak tonight. Caprio,
Right here?
podium's all yours. Yeah. State your name and you
Yeah,
have
I'm
3
Joey.
minutes.
I'm Joey Caprio. I didn't go to West Point, but I had twin daughters, Courtney and Jenna. They both went to West Point. Did exceptionally well. I don't think I had much to do with that. But as far as the school, sport of wrestling, I went to Norfolk Catholic High School. We didn't have a wrestling team. So we had a coach come in who was a football coach, but he also wanted to start wrestling. So we got together and we started wrestling, and I really started my sophomore year. But we were terrible. I mean, it was just we didn't know anything, didn't know what to do, didn't know anything about the sport. So it's sort of learning in the classroom type of situation, and it was pretty good. We got some real good kids. And I tell you about wrestling. Wrestling is something that it's not easy. It's difficult. It's one of the more difficult sports, but it is also the oldest sport in the world. They had wrestling first. I guess they had track second. It was running chase people, but wrestling has been, I've seen it grow so much that now it's just amazing in college. They're doing really well, and I think that West Point has, well, you have kids. If you have kids, there's going to be someone in there or a couple in there that are exceptional, and that's what we want. We want exceptional people. We want people to try to be exceptional, not just go out there and put in time. So if we can get some people that are interested in developing in wrestling area, that's what we need. And so I don't know that we have anybody in the area, but if we can ask around and find out anyone at all, ex-coaches, people that wrestled or whatever, that they can help. You never know when they can come in and show one move, and if the move is good, you can go to states with one move. I mean, if you're good. So that's the situation. And I wasn't any good. But I got a scholarship to Lehigh University, which is an excellent school, and I did pretty well in wrestling. And then I coached 1 year at Notre Dame Catholic High School in Green Pond, Pennsylvania. Then I went back to my alma mater, Norfolk Catholic, and coached wrestling there for 3 years. Then I went to Memphis for law school, and I ended up being a referee, wrestling referee in Memphis. Memphis was just a completely different area in the world. To me, especially. But we got through it. We did well, and I think we can do well in West Point. I mean, West Point has, as every area has, kids that are talented in some ways. This is one of the ways you can be talented in, and it's one of the ways you get beaten out of here, you know. but it's to me, it's really fun, and it's really I think educational, and I think people can grow and learn from it, because wrestling is hard. It's not easy. And so when you do something that's hard and you succeed in it, it's much better than not. So that's what I would say, is we need somebody to get around and find out anybody that has any type of wrestling experience at all. That's what we want. And we want people that want to be experienced in wrestling. So that's what we want, and that's what I think wrestling can have. So that's why I came to talk, because we need wrestling in this sport. Because when football is over, when basketball is over, what do? Well, after football, you got basketball. What else do you have? You have swimming, you have volleyball. So there are sports that are there that can be used to help the children, the kids, learn and progress. That's what wrestling is about. Wrestling is about winning, but you don't do it very much. Usually you get the beat bit out of you, and that's why it's a tough sport. And I really enjoy it. I still love it. I go to national wrestling championships every year. It's just, to me, it's really interesting. And now we have all kinds of different ways. We have freestyle, which is Olympic. They wrestle freestyle in the Olympics. They also wrestle Greco-Roman. Greco-Roman is wrestling, but you can't you can't touch them below the waist. It's all upper body stuff. So the United States is not real good in Greco-Roman, but we're real good in wrestling. So we've got some really good kids, and it's amazing to see how good these kids can be. So I hope that's what we can have, somewhat like that in West Point. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
I was a lawyer for a while.
I was gonna say, you got 3 minutes to make your argument, but I figured. It's not an argument, but no, we appreciate your interest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, reports, Dream Grants. Good, I think you're up.
More videos.
More video, all right.
Just to let you know, this is live footage. It is not stock footage, so Pixar says 1,000 words. We'll try and see. So that is a sampling of, each picture had something that was purchased with Dream Grant funds. As you can see, we were able to purchase many items for both school systems. We did have an opportunity for 4 of the requests with Dr. Frazier, Mr. Leach, were able to reach out to other organizations to provide some support for some of the other Dream Grant requests. But we feel like we were able to pretty much meet every request that was asked. So we were really pleased with it.
That's great.
Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, next report, everyone's favorite budget calendar, Dr. Frazier.
I don't think I have a video to show.
I can make
You know,
that.
interactive video on our budget calendar.
I do want.
Come on.
PG-13.
I do want to say I think we all can tell that Ms. Britt loves her new job.
Yes.
And she's doing a phenomenal job in that role.
Yes.
All right, and so in your packet you have our our proposed budget calendar for this is crazy to say, but FY27. And so fiscal year 27, the budget calendar is provided for you in your packet. Of course, if there are any changes that we need to make to the budget calendar, we will make those, and we will give you all ample notice. But I was in a meeting on last Thursday, and they said that the governor has set a date of December 17th for releasing his proposed budget. And so once we get a proposed budget from the governor, then we will get calc tools and all those things, so we can then look at what numbers are looking like from the state level. But we will kick off pretty soon, getting feedback from stakeholders as to what they're asking for in our budget request. So, are there any questions?
Items under study, Dr. Hauser, math acceleration policy.
We're understudying it. So that was legislation passed by the General Assembly. And so our personal policy that the math department and myself came up with for West Point is included for you to study.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Does this take into account the new
Ha! Scores?
yeah. scores? No, right?
Say it.
Yes, and we just had a conversation about that earlier because some of the cut scores for acceleration would be failing. So
Right,
we
so
could-
that's why
right,
that's
yes.
what I was thinking.
So,
Okay.
Ms. Britt and I were discussing earlier, like the left hand isn't talking to the right hand,
Just thinking that.
you know, as
Yeah.
far as some of the things going through. So that's a little worrisome because this is the first year that we accelerated kids based on that legislation. We had to do that even before presenting a policy for you to study. So we could technically have children in there who would have failed the math SOL and are now on the acceleration track with the new cut scores. So we just have to wait for further guidance. Also, a part of deciding who is accelerated is having a conversation about the student. Maybe they don't test well, but they're able, to collaboratively work to solve math problems, or are super great at geometry but aren't as great at algebra. So, we gotta just roll with it because we don't know what is coming. It's like waves, you just gotta keep jumping them. So your question's right on. Those are the things that Christy and I were talking about, about half an hour ago.
Yes, we
So it's just interesting because at the same time we're really trying to push and encourage, student achievement and high achievement. We're not really, the state's not really sure what that is and what does that have to do with a test score.
Not to get on a tangent, but aren't there also studies out there now that are saying that we've pushed kids too early
Yes.
in math? But that's
Developmentally,
now like a barrier, like
yes,
it's creating
developmentally,
problems, so it's.
developmentally, students are accelerated too quickly
Yeah.
with math or with anything. I mean, the experts aren't, have left the building. But, if you try and teach a student to read too quickly sometimes, we're all of our brains develop differently. So, the great thing about the acceleration law and our policy is that at every turn, we're gonna talk about, is the student ready to move onward and upward? So before, you kind of like moved onto a specific path and you were on that path. It was really hard for some students to get onto the path if they weren't, recognized for the path in 5th grade, for example. So now at every grade level, we're going to ask, could this student do more? Which I think is great. It's the cut scores that I'm scratching my head about. And the fact that now I'm going to change it, and the fact that our new accountability system measures some other factors. So what do we think is important? Are we back to saying it's just a score? Like, I don't know, children and adults and everyone are so much more complex and amazing than a score can report on,
I think you're still up, Dr. House.
Me again?
Yeah.
What am I
Gifted.
talking about now?
Gifted play.
Yes, so as you recall from last month, my impassioned speech from September was about gifted education, which is sort of what we're just always talking about. We want all students to be able to grow, including those who need support and including those who are gifted and all of those other students as well. So this is our gifted plan. The gifted advisory worked on it all last year. And that's what we've come up with. So now what happens is you study it and give it your once over, and it goes up for technical review. So some neighboring divisions during this month and next month will look at our plan and give us feedback. And then myself, Jennifer Hart, and Tracy Whitehurst will look at division plans from other places and give feedback. And then we will look to you to either approve it next month if the process is complete, or perhaps in December. And then that will run for 5 years, but it can also always be changed if anything were to change or more services be available or whatnot. So it's just something for you to make yourselves aware of and take a look at and just know what we've been doing, what we would like to do, and then if you have any questions after you take a look at it, then I'll be here next month and the month after and the month after and the month after.
So you might be presenting revisions after the technical reviews are finished up?
We could. Usually those, Mr. Evans, look more like, well, have you ever thought about doing a poll? I mean, it's more like, you're doing this model, but here's what we're doing here, which is really interesting to learn about what other divisions are doing. So we may take that and decide we want to go a different direction, but we might just be like, we've explored that too and didn't work, or we didn't get the budget funding, or whatever it is. So, and then at any point, we can revise the plan with your approval. So if we were to add a gifted resource teacher or any type of other support, we would bring that back to you and say, this is what we're thinking now, and you would study it and then hopefully approve it. So,
Thank you.
yes. And I know that part of last month's discussion was about beta, and those ladies are in full swing. So we've got a elementary beta club here. So.
Nothing else? All right, on to Mr. Leach.
Yes, good evening. So back in August, Officer Kate Kennedy from the elementary school came and talked about therapy dogs. Remember, she brought Winnie from New Kent. And we talked about at that meeting of trying to develop a policy or a plan for what that would look like at West Point. So you have a plan to study along with an agreement. If we had a dog handler in the building and what certifications they would need to bring and things like that to cover them and cover us. We did have a trial run at the elementary school. They came into one classroom. And it was a pretty big hit. So I think everyone's ready to move forward if you guys are. But we're hoping you study this and then come back to us in November, hopefully with a final plan to get some therapy dogs on the book.
I like to move, that we move, that's confusing. The therapy dogs, code KKAB to an action item.
All right, we have a motion to move the therapy dog to an action item. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries, so we'll put that as F.
Just show on the road.
All right,
I'll be happy.
next up, Dr. Fraser, residency.
All right. So last month at our meeting, when we shared the information from the climate survey that was done last spring, there were comments there regarding residency. Also, Ms. Reed brought up some concerns that she's heard around residency, and as she looked over some of the comments. And so what we have done is we have put together a residency investigation procedure that we will be able to use in the division moving forward as cases or concerns regarding residency are brought to our attention. We will be able to investigate those things and then make a determination as to whether or not students are actually living here in the division or they are living outside the division. It also spells out what residency is. And so residency is truly living in the division. And so because this is a sensitive topic, I'm asking that the board would review this and would vote on to adopt this regulation. We know that this is something that will definitely impact some of those in our school community, and we want to make sure that the board is fully behind the work that needs to be done around residency.
The residency compliance officer that's listed in there, is that gonna be an added responsibility to an existing staff?
That will be an added responsibility to existing staff, or using some of our part-time partners that we have, consultants, partners that we have working with us. We are not in position now to hire a full-time person to do this.
That would be something. We need a full-time person.
Yeah.
I will say this becomes more and more important because of the growth of our community with all the new houses being built, capacities of our school. It's not fair for somebody to be, skirting the system, so to speak. So I think it becomes even more important that we have a strong policy that's fair, that ensures that everyone is here in the right way.
Agreed. Thank you for putting this together, it's very thorough.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? So what the intent is to take action in the November meeting.
Unless the board's comfortable with moving forward now.
I was just thinking, I motion to put it as an action item.
We have a motion to move the student residency investigation procedures to an action item. We have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, that motion carries. We'll have that as G. Mr. Leach. Yes. All right. Great segue. We're on to action items. All right, first up, approving expenditures and receive our revenue reports. Do I have a motion to consider approving expenditures and receive our revenue reports?
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, that motion carries. Do we have a motion to approve our cafeteria expenditures?
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, that motion carries. We have a motion to approve our personnel recommendations.
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, that motion carries. We've got a couple donations to approve. Do I have a motion to approve those donations?
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose. We have a grant and reimbursement funds resolution. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, that motion carries. We have consider approving our dog therapy policy. A motion to accept,
So
to
moved.
approve. We have a motion with a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, that motion carries. And we have a motion to consider approving our residency investigation procedures. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All that opposed, that motion carries. All right, informational items, anything other than what's in our packet, Dr. Frazier? Would you like to call things yours?
The only thing that's not in the packet that I would call your attention to is that Region 3 is hosting a legislative breakfast for school board members and leadership to come together to talk about legislative priorities as the General Assembly is gearing up to start in January. And so they are looking for a representative from each school division to participate. And that the date for that is November 7th. It's in Spotsylvania. And it begins at 8:30. And so if there is a board member that is willing and available to participate, we would ask you to just let myself or Mr. Leach know so we can make sure that we have some representation. At that time, all of the delegates and senators that cover the entire area will also be there to have conversations with school board members.
One thing I'll call out for information, we have our VSBA delegation assembly next month, November. I think it's only 4 positions to vote on. I'll be attending as our delegate. I'll send everyone I'll send you the booklet that has the positions with a recap too. Is that after our next board meeting? Same week. It's at Thursday. So I guess we could talk about it at the general meeting Tuesday if anyone had any. But I'll leave that out so we can take a look at it. Also future agenda items, we'll have an accountability update and an attendance update. We've got our board work session Friday, 9:30 here. And our regular meeting on
And Dr. Frazier's birthday on the 7th.
Yeah.
November.
the 18th.
It's on our official calendar.
That should not
I'll make sure to celebrate it at the next school board meeting. Don't you worry.
Focus on the main thing. And that is not me.